All right, I want to go through and make my own help video when it comes to setting up word problem systems, because in my experience, the setup process is the toughest part for students. So I'm going to take you through just a couple on Delta Math. I'm just going to kind of talk you through them, give you some general tips and helpful pieces to go through it so that it makes the process a little easier on your end. So when you get to a word problem, I know the biggest thing is it can be very overwhelming. You want to figure out what are the two unknowns? What are the things that we're trying to figure out? Now, a lot of times, you can figure it out by reading the end of the question. So when it says write a system of equations that can be used to determine the price of each pound of peaches and the price of each pound of grapes, that tells me those are my two unknowns. One of my unknowns is the price of peaches, and one of my unknowns is the price of grapes. So you can choose any letter of the alphabet you want for your variables. So I'm going to go P for peaches, and I'm going to have that be the price per pound of peaches. And I'm going to be G for grapes. Again, just to be something that makes sense in the problem. So that's the first thing you want to do, is figure out what are we looking to find. Then we need to figure out what are the two equations. What two things do I know about my peaches and grapes? Well, the first thing I know is I know exactly how many pounds of peaches and how many pounds of grapes that I sold in order to make this certain amount of money. So this was yesterday's Dominic's spending. So I purchased 32 pounds of peaches. So I don't know the price, so I'm going to put a P there. 34, excuse me. And then I did 45 pounds of grapes at whatever the price is that I'm trying to find. And I had $192.25. So that was Dominic's buying yesterday. Today, he sold 47 pounds of peaches. So 47 pounds of peaches. And he sold 16 pounds of grapes. So 16 is my grapes. And this time, the amount of money was $208. So that's how you're going about these problems on Delta Math. They actually don't want an answer. They don't want you to solve this. They want you to establish what are the two variables, what are the two unknowns, and what are two equations that relate these unknowns. And then you hit submit, and you're good. Let me show you another one. Let's see. Try to find something interesting. That one's too similar. Okay. I like sports examples. So Haley's a basketball player. She is making 3-pointers and free throws. So 3-pointers obviously worth 3 points, free throws worth 1 point. We know how many total points she scored. We know she made 4 times as many free throws. So first we need to figure out what the variables are. So let's read this question that says write a system. Write a system of equations that could be used to determine the number of 3-point shots and the number of free throws. So 3-point shots is missing. So I'm just going to do T for the letter 3. 3, so the number of 3-point shots. And free throws, I'll use an F for free throws. So it's the number of 3-point shots made and the number of free throws. So here's what I know. I know she made a total of 14 points. So if she made a total of 14 points, you get 3 points for every 3-pointer, plus you get 1 point for every free throw, and we know it totaled 14. The other piece of information might be a little tougher. We know that she made 4 times as many free throws as 3-point shots. So that means my free throws is 4 times as many as my 3-pointers. And that's how I'm going to write it. I'm actually going to write it the way I say it. When I say the word is, I'm going to put an equal sign. So my free throws were 4 times as big as my 3-pointers. Those are my two equations. And I'm done. I can find another quick one here. Okay. Let's do a book one and then we'll be done with this video. So we are sending books to a book retailer. We're sending them in large boxes and small boxes. We know how many books can be held in the small and large. We know the total of boxes. So this is the key line when it says write a system. That's where we're going to start reading to start the process. Write a system that can be used to determine the number of small boxes and the number of large boxes sent. So we're going to do S for the number of small boxes, and we're going to do L for the number of large boxes. Start with that. Start with reading that sentence and seeing what is the unknowns that we're looking for. So now we need to write two equations. Well, we know small boxes hold 25, so 25 goes in a small box. And we know that 40 books can go in a large. So 40L, and that's going to equal 250 were the total number of books that went. So there's my total books, 25 in small, 40 in large, 250 total. And then the next thing I know is that there were 7 boxes sent total. So if 7 boxes were sent total, that means if I add up how many small and how many large, I would get 7 total. So again, this is how many books were in the boxes. This is how many total boxes. I'm going to submit, and we're good to go. So there are 3 really good examples of how you set up a word problem in Delta Math. You're not being asked to solve, but going through that process of setup.